Hi, welcome back, and I hope that these videos are blessing you and helping you learn how to use essential oils and become excited about them. If there's anything that you have questions about, please feel free to contact us, let us know, and I'll try to do my best to answer your questions. Today we're going to do the second part of essential oils for basics, and what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about three very popular and rather inexpensive oils that can be used for a multitude of things. If you have these three in your home, you can take care of almost anything that comes across your plate, including food. That's kind of neat. Remember that I'm talking about 100% pure essential oils because the ones off the grocery shelves are good for aromatherapy, but they're not good for the things that we're going to talk about in this video. So please remember to get 100% pure essential oils, and let's go from there. Today we're going to talk about lavender, lemon, and peppermint. Lavender is considered the go-to oil of most essential oils. It has the most medicinal and the most everyday uses. It is most widely known for its sedative properties. Now, sedative just means that it's calming, especially upon the nerves. I'm going to use some words in here, and I hope to put them in the captions on the video that you may not know, but most of you probably will know, such as antihistamine, antidepressant. But anyway, we're going to talk about the properties of lavender. The properties of lavender are analgesic, which is a pain reliever. So ibuprofen is an analgesic. Lavender is an analgesic. Anticonvulsant, antidepressant, antifungal. So if you got fungus, lavender's a good one. Antihistamine, anti-infectious. So it can help keep you safe from infections. It's anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, anti-mutagenic, antiseptic, antispasmodic, antitoxic, anticartonic, regenerative, and sedative. Now remember, the properties are the things that we talked about that help the plants take care of themselves, keep them free from disease, and help them remain strong and thriving. So these are the properties that lavender has that are useful to humans. Now, lavender is generally recognized as safe for human ingestion, but some people will dilute it one-on-one, like 1 drop of lavender to 1 drop of honey, to a teaspoon of honey, or put 1 to 2 drops of lavender in an empty capsule and swallow it. Now, most people recommend that you don't give it to a child for ingestion under the age of 6. It just depends, but usually most people recommend that you don't. It can be applied neat, and neat means that it doesn't have to have a carrier oil, but remember we talked about carrier oils and how they keep most essential oils from burning or irritating the skin. They also allow you to apply the essential oil to a larger area of skin because of the carrier oil. Now, lavender can be applied neat, so that means it doesn't have to have a carrier oil, and very rarely will it irritate anyone's skin. You'd have to have extremely sensitive skin. Now, when dealing with children under the age of 10 and with pregnant women, it is recommended that you dilute it 1-to-1 with a carrier oil. So 1 drop of lavender oil to 1 drop of carrier oil. Okay. So in the past, back way back, as far back as being recorded, lavender has been used for things such as acne, allergies, asthma, bruises and burns. Now, it's excellent for burns, soothing the pain and for helping healing. For cold sores, cramps, diaper rash, dandruff, heart irregularity, herpes, high blood pressure, hives, hysteria, insect bites and stings, infection, of course. It's been used over the centuries to repel insects, particularly fleas. So it's great if you have an infestation of fleas on your pets, and yes, it can be used on your pets. It's very good for the lymphatic system drainage. It helps with nausea. It does reduce mucus within the body. It helps with tachycardia, thrush, typhoid fever, water retention, and whooping cough. So those are the things that it's been used for in the past, and those things have been recorded by people who've used them and by doctors. So if I had lavender, what are some situations I might use it for? Which I do have lavender. One of the most popular things for using it for is helping babies and children go to sleep. A lot of times they're fussy, they're a little too tired, or maybe they're still a little too wound up. So massaging it into the bottoms of the feet of the babies or the children right before bedtime can often help, especially with children who tend to have a lot going on in their minds. This can help. Diffusing it in the room will also help. If you feel anxious or overwhelmed, you can diffuse it in the air. It's wonderful for that. And diffusing takes it up into the olfactory system. And we know for a fact that just smelling these things can also produce wonderful results. One of the fun things to do with lavender is to add it to sugar cookie mix. If you're making sugar cookies with your kids, you might add about 10 drops of lavender. You can use it to rub on the paws of your pets to help eliminate parasites. Like I said before, you can spray it or put it in the shampoo of your pets and help rid fleas. If you are trying to transport a pet, like you've got to put them into a carrier and you've got to put them in the car and the pet doesn't travel very well, putting a little bit on your hand and allowing the pet to smell it, putting a little bit on the pet's paws, that will help, and even putting some in the carrier. But you don't want to do too much. You don't want to make it overwhelming. Just a light mist, usually in the carrier, will help them to settle down a little bit. Now, this is not always true with cats. Cats are their own thing, and some cats just don't like any smell. So I have a cat who does not like any smell. She does not like perfumes. She doesn't like essential oils. So just cats are a little bit different. In each pet is different. Lavender is also good for a homemade deodorant. If you make a deodorant with baking soda and coconut oil or whatever other homemade deodorant you may find, a recipe you may find out there, you can add your lavender. You can apply it neat to cuts to kill germs. Rub it on exposed skin to repel mosquitoes and other insects. You can add it to tea or to any drink that would help bring relaxation. It's also very good for heart palpitations. You can rub it on the heart. You can inhale it. And I've heard of people who have restless leg syndrome who've been able to rub it into their legs at night and get relief from restless leg syndrome. So those are just some of the ways that you can use it. And of course you can experiment with it, and as you get to know the properties and what each of the properties do, you can start experimenting with your own self and with your family, and find out how it helps and maybe how it doesn't help. No two people are going to be exactly alike. In fact, let me say this right up front now that I've already started. If you come across a scent that just repulses you, it's more than I just don't like that scent, but it repulses you, do not use it. Do not use it. Your body is telling you that there's something in there it does not need, does not want. It's just like when a woman is pregnant and she has cravings and she also has repulsions. That's her body telling her, stay away from something and I really need something. It'll do the same thing with essential oils. If you smell an oil and you just all of a sudden really desire to have that smell around you, that's your body telling you that you need something in that oil. I had that very thing happen with me. I opened up cinnamon bark the very first time and I inhaled the smell. And oh my goodness, I just couldn't get enough of that smell. I was putting it in my hair, putting it on my brush and then brushing it through my hair. I was putting it on my pillowcase. I was putting it on my clothing. I had to have that smell, and that lasted for about 2 weeks. And then it just became a smell that I really enjoy. I no longer felt that I had to have it around me all the time. So there was something in there that my body needed, and once it got what it needed, well, it just became a very pleasant smell. It's still one of my favorite smells, but I don't feel that I have to have it all the time. And I have worked with people who, when I've opened a bottle with a particular smell and they smell it, they have a physical reaction, very repulsed by it. And that's an indication that you don't want to use that oil, that there's something there. Your body's telling you, do not use it. So just so you know that up front, have fun smelling and trying different smells. Okay, next we'll go on to lemon. Lemon essential oil has been used for centuries for cleaning. Most recognized as a disinfector and a cleanser. Now, it's been used as a cleanser for hair, skin, surfaces, laundry, and anything else that needs to be cleaned. But the properties of lemon include anti-cancer, antidepressant, antiseptic, antifungal, antioxidant, antiviral, invigorating, refreshing, and it's a tonic. Now, remember we talked about how a tonic is something that is like a food for a particular part of the body. Well, lemon is a tonic for the entire body. It feeds all the parts of the body, so it can be used as a tonic. It's also extremely refreshing. When you inhale it, you get a lift, an emotional and physical lift. So for depression, you can diffuse it in the air, or if you're trying to concentrate on something, diffuse it in the air. Feeling a little tired, like you need a nap maybe in the middle of the afternoon, instead of reaching for that coffee, reach for your lemon essential oil. If you have viruses or fungus, of course, it's great for getting rid of those and for protecting against those. And of course, it has anti-cancer properties that are very useful. Now, lemon is generally accepted as safe for human ingestion. Again, you can dilute 1 drop in a teaspoon of honey, or you can put several drops in a capsule and take it that way. I would not give it to children under the age of 6 without putting it in something, and you'll see what I mean here in a few minutes, food-wise. Using it on children or on pregnant women, again, I would dilute it 1-on-1. When using it, a lot of people use it for skin issues, especially for acne or for brightening up the skin. Make sure that once you put it on the skin, you do not get into direct sunlight for at least 12 hours. Now, that doesn't mean you can't walk from your house to your car, just means don't go standing out or sunbathing in direct sunlight for more than a couple of minutes at a time, because it can cause problems, burning, irritating. Okay, if I have lemon, lemon has been used in the past for things such as protecting against aging, against anemia, asthma, colds. It dissolves cellulite. It brings about clarity of thought. Extremely good for digestive issues, for gallstones, gout, intestinal parasites, liver strengthener. It's a great strengthener for the liver. It brings about memory improvement. If you're if you're trying to learn something, like if you're in college and you're learning something and you diffuse lemon while you're learning it, then you diffuse lemon later, it kind of helps bring back that memory. It helps with morning sickness for some people. It also helps with the red and white blood cell formation within the body. If you're having issues with not forming enough, or you're having to take infusions or treatments for those kinds of things, lemon is a good essential oil to be using. It helps with throat problems. How many people have grown up with a mom who, when they have a sore throat, makes a tea with a little bit of honey and lemon in it? It's great for throat problems. It's also a good water purifier, and it's wonderful for removing stains like gum, oil, and grease spots from clothing and surfaces. So those are some of the things that lemon has been used for many years. Now, in the home, so you can add 10 drops to a carrier oil and rub it into areas with cellulite after you've dry brushed the area. So if you've got a lot of cellulite on the back of your legs, dry brush the area real good, and then put 10 drops into a carrier oil and rub it real good into that area. You can add 25 drops to a gallon of homemade detergent, and it makes a wonderful cleaner and freshener. 15 drops in 4 ounces of witch hazel, and to use it as a toner to brighten your skin and to help against acne. With the lavender, we talked about putting it in your sugar cookie mix. You can do the same with lemon, or even a cake mix if you're making cakes. You can diffuse it in the air while learning something to remember, which we've talked about. Put it a little bit in green tea with some honey for drink for colds and sore throats. Put 20 drops in a 4-ounce bottle of aloe vera gel, and voila, you have your own hand cleanser. If you put 2 drops of oil on a cotton ball, you can use it to remove grease, gum, stains from clothes and surfaces. Just test it first, because you want to make sure that the cloth will not disintegrate underneath it. Most won't, but just check in case. You can add 1 to 2 drops of lemon oil in marinades, rice, and other dishes. Makes really good spice. Drink 8 ounces of water with 4 to 5 drops of oil to help detox your body. It will kill parasites and improve your digestion, and it amazingly reduces acidity within the body. Place 2 to 3 drops in a warm bath to relieve congestion or for a pick-me-up, or just drop a little bit in the shower while you're showering. It will help pick you up and give you a little bit of a lift. Okay, and our next one, our last one today, is peppermint oil. Peppermint has been used so long for digestive issues, but we're going to see that it's also great for other things. It's also been used for headaches, and its properties include analgesic. Remember, we talked about pain relievers. It's antibacterial, anti-carcinogenic, anti-inflammatory, antiseptic, antispasmodic, antiviral, diaphoretic, and invigorating. So it's both a cooling oil and a warming oil. It tends to respond to what your body needs. It's generally recognized as safe for human consumption. Of course, 1 drop to 1 teaspoon of honey, or again 1 to 2 drops in a capsule, or in liquid of your choice. It can be used neat on adult skin, but of course avoid the eyes. You want to avoid those. If you have a headache, you want to put it areas where you have the headache, but not anywhere near the eyes. So if it's a sinus headache, you want to deal with the sinuses up here. For children, you want to dilute, under the age of 12, you want to dilute 1 to 1 and 1 to 2 for pregnant women, or switch over to spearmint while the woman is pregnant. And that one too needs to be used with a carrier oil. But pregnant women can tend to take spearmint a little bit easier than peppermint. It doesn't seem quite as harsh. So anyway, that's the properties of peppermint oil. So in the past, peppermint has been used to bring about alertness. It's an antioxidant. It's been used for asthma, bacterial infections, to rid candida, chronic fatigue, congestion. It cools the body if the body is hot. It can warm the body if the body is cold. It helps with depression. It's been used for diarrhea, digestion, for fainting, fever, halitosis, great one. If you got bad breath, essential oil is wonderful, especially in your toothpaste. It's good for headaches. It's been used for heartburn and hemorrhoids, heat stroke, like if you're overheated, it'll cool you, hot flashes, same thing, inflammation, irritable bowel syndrome. It's good for itching. If you have a rash, it can help relieve the itching. It's great for jet lag. If you've got a lot of traveling and you're going to travel over some time zones, or you've just been on the road a lot and you're feeling some jet lag, diffusing it in the air can help you a great deal. It will decrease lactation. So if you're starting to wean a child, if you're nursing and you want to wean, it will decrease the lactation. So don't use it while you're nursing, unless of course that's what you're wanting. It also has been used to help with memory, with migraines, definitely with motion sickness, with muscle fatigue. It helps protect the myelin sheath. That's what covers the nerves in the body. It's been used to help with paralysis, with rheumatism, sciatica, shock, varicose veins, and with vomiting. And so those are the things that it's been used for and recorded for in the past. So in the house, how might you use it? So you might mix 2 to 3 drops in a carrier oil or with witch hazel and rub it into sore and tired muscles. It really helps a lot, especially the feet. You can dilute and mix with lemon oil and massage it into the abdomen 3 times a day to relieve constipation. You can put 2 drops in an empty capsule 3 times a day to fight candida or any other yeast in the body. Dilute it with carrier oil and rub it over your sinus points to relieve sinus headaches and congestion. Dilute it with a carrier oil and rub into joints that are stiff. And I say dilute it with a carrier oil so that you get more area, not because you can't put it neat, but because you want to rub more area. So if you got stiff joints or achy joints, it's a good thing to put in a little bit of carrier oil and just have around. And so whenever they're achy or stiff, you can rub those in there. I have a friend who has some peppermint oil with some distilled water, and she just carries that around because whenever she has a hot flash, she just sprays her face and chest, and she feels cooled very quickly. You can rub 2 to 3 drops on your abdomen to relieve stomach upset, gas, bloating, and indigestion. You can even rub it upward if you're having indigestion and your heartburn, of course. You kind of want to put it where the pain is. If you want to bring down a fever, put 1 to 2 drops in a child's very warm bath water. This should help them bring on a sweat, and the sweat will bring down the fever. Add this to your toothpaste. It's great to protect against cavities, and it freshens breath, of course. Diffuse it in the air to freshen your room, dispel depression, or to open up the respiratory system. And you can add 1 to 2 drops in tea to brighten up your tea or to soothe your digestion. It's also very calming. I found out myself, personally, I was having peppermint tea at night just because I enjoyed it. And I got to realizing that the nights that I had peppermint tea, it really kind of calmed me and made me much more ready for bed. And I think I slept a little bit better. So it does good things for sleep as well. Anyway, those are just a few ways to use peppermint oil. Just some final suggestions as you're using essential oils. Like I said before, listen to your body. Your body's going to tell you, yes, I want this, or no, don't touch that. There's something there that I can't handle right now at this point. Experiment with oils, have fun with them. Everyone and every health issue is different. So just because peppermint works for one person doesn't mean that it will work for everyone. There might be someone out there that peppermint doesn't work for in a situation. And as a person, every situation is going to be different. So while I'm nauseous in one situation and peppermint may work, I may have a nausea at another time where the peppermint doesn't work. So don't always assume that everything's going to work for everyone or for every situation, but always start with the one that you know does work and then just work around that. If you find it doesn't work, then experiment. There are a lot of other things out there that are anti-nauseous. So just have fun playing with your essential oils, and go to the stores and smell the testers and find which ones you like. Do a little bit of research on them and find out which ones might benefit you and your family. Maybe you have a child who has a little bit of a learning issue. Well, there are some out there that can help. Maybe you have a husband who's extremely stressed, whose job just causes him a lot of stress. And so there are a lot of oils out there like lavender that will help relieve stress. Whether you diffuse it, whether you take it internally or rub it into the body. So just have fun with your oils. Use an oil a day. Why not? Just find a different one and say, let's see what this one does. Layer your oils. When you layer your oils, if you do peppermint last, so like say I'm feeling a little nauseous and I want to put lavender on because I know that lavender's worked before. Well, if I put lavender on and then put peppermint in, peppermint will actually drive the lavender further in. It goes 7 layers deeper, is what I understand, than if the lavender was there just by itself. So it's going to act faster and it's going to go further. So layer your oils. Also, we know that some of them work synergistically, and so they work better together than they do separately, and that's more fun. You can also get some good smells if you play around with layering. If you find that you're using one for a particular issue, use that particular oil or treat your particular ailment 6 days in a row, but every week give your body 1 day of rest. You need to do that. Your body will respond better to any herb, supplement, or oil that you use if you do 6 days in a row and then stop. Allow a whole 24 hours without those herbs, supplements, or oils, and allow your body to figure out what it's doing on its own instead of becoming dependent upon that oil all the time. Also, you'll know if you go off for a full 24 hours, you'll know, are you improving? Is the situation improving, or do you need to up the supplements or up the oils, or maybe change something or add something? So it's always best if you do your oils or herbs or supplements for 6 days in a row and then take 1 day off the same day every week. Read up on your oils. There's lots of information out there. There's tons of books out there, tons of articles and blogs, and all kinds of information out there that you can find easily. Always store your oils in a cool, dry place. You don't want them to be in the bathroom because they can become too humid. And you don't want them to be in direct sunlight, even though most of them are in brown bottles. You really don't want them sitting in direct sunlight. It becomes too hot. It can change the properties within the oil. So you always want to keep them in a cool, dry place. And other than that, I would just suggest taking it one step at a time. Lemon, lavender, and peppermint can handle almost anything that comes your way. And there are also some of the more reasonably priced ones out there. Just make sure that you get 100% pure essential oils. And I hope this video has helped you. Shalom.